Our top story and the decision to keep U.S. Space Command in Colorado Springs permanently. The Pentagon press secretary said the decision was made after a thorough and deliberate evaluation process. The decision comes more than 2 years after former President Donald Trump announced it was moving to Huntsville, Alabama. The implications of this decision are massive for the Pikes Peak region. We begin our team coverage tonight with reaction from our local leaders. News 5's Maggie Bryan in studio to kick off our coverage. Maggie?
Rob, Mayor Yemi Mobolade and former Mayor John Suthers both say they got the official word just after 1 p.m. today about the decision. They say the decision is huge, not only for our economy and national security, but also for military families.
Someone was to ask me 2 hours ago what my biggest disappointment as mayor was. It was the Trump administration's decision to move Space Command to Huntsville.
Regret now turned to celebration.
I feel very good about the fact that the decision has been reversed.
After more than 2 years of debate, the Department of Defense has announced the decision to keep the U.S. Space Command in Colorado Springs. Former Mayor John Suthers says this decision puts politics aside and focuses on national security.
It should be based on what's in the national security interest and the interest of the American taxpayer.
He confirmed that the words exchanged with the president ahead of Air Force graduation were about this decision.
He told us he was focused on, what's in the interest of the national security, and indicated that at that time he thought moving it may jeopardize that.
Congressman Doug Lamborn says the vote was split between the commander of the Space Command and the Secretary of the Air Force.
One of them actually grew up in Colorado, one of them grew up in Alabama, and they sort of leaned that way in each case. And it took a third person, the president himself, to break the tie.
General Dickinson released this statement saying, quote, "I welcome this final basing decision. Since its establishment in 2019, U.S. Spacecom has been focused on operating and delivering exquisite capacity to the joint force to deter and, if needed, prevail in conflict." The decision is also an economic one. The Colorado Springs Chamber and EDC says the Space Command employs around 1,500 people and produces around $450 million each year in economic output. Military families are no longer in limbo about a possible relocation.
Colorado Springs is the home of space.
Mayor Yemi Mobolade says the city will continue to keep its legacy in the space industry.
Today marks the beginning of a next chapter for our city's long and proud military history.
Former Mayor John Suthers says he expects some pushback from elected officials in Alabama, but says this fight is over. Congressman Lamborn also agrees, saying this is a done deal and there's nothing more to do. Rob.
Maggie, thanks. And we're getting more reaction from across the state, beginning with Governor Polis, who praised the unified effort to keep Space Command in Colorado. He released this statement today, calling this a thoughtful and correct decision, which guarantees operational success for decades and improves our national defense. He added, quote, "I am grateful to the strong bipartisan coalition of leaders all across Colorado." As for congressional leaders in Alabama, well, collective outrage pretty much describes it tonight. Among the critics, Republican Senator Tommy Tuberville. In a statement released tonight, he said, quote, "This is absolutely not over. I will continue to fight this as long as it takes to bring Space Command where it would be best served, Huntsville, Alabama." Senator Tuberville also questioned whether the Air Force illegally use taxpayer dollars to upgrade facilities here in Colorado Springs. Meantime, Republican Congressman Dale Strong from Alabama also weighing in for us tonight.
There was a process with some 21 categories that was evaluated, and no matter how they looked at it, Redstone Arsenal was number one. We have the right people at the right place at the right time to take care of national security.
Now, the Alabama delegation called it pure partisan politics, criticizing the president for waiting until Congress was in recess to announce the decision. Tuberville added this, quote, "sets a dangerous precedent that military bases are now being used as rewards for political supporters."